Maddie, get up! I groaned and pulled the covers over my head. 5 more minutes, Mom. Mom grabbed the blanket and dragged it off my body. No, you get up now. Your father will be here in 15 minutes to take you and Emily to Boston. She looked down at me, an annoyed look on her face. Why are you so tired anyway? How late did you stay up last night playing that video game? I'd stayed up way too late, like 1 in the morning late, but I wasn't about to let her know that. I don't know, like 9, I mumbled. Then you should have no problem getting up. Mom headed to the door. And no falling back asleep once I leave the room, either. I reluctantly sat up in bed, rubbing my eyes. My head felt foggy, my stomach growled. Even my fingers were sore from hours of typing with Sir Leo. And now, instead of getting to sleep in like a normal high schooler on a Saturday morning, I had to get up at the crack of dawn to go visit my dad. Not that I minded visiting. It meant a weekend back in Boston in his new apartment. But we always had fun, and there was a possibility I'd get to see my friends, too. Still, the 7 a.m. wake-up call was a bit rough. I forced myself out of bed, glancing longingly at the computer as I passed it on the way to the bathroom. I had such a good time playing last night, fighting mobs, completing quests, joking around with Sir Leo. It was awesome. So weird how you could have the best night of your life, hanging out with a complete stranger in a virtual world. When it was finally time to log off and say goodnight, we'd gone into the Elf Tree Inn. There was only one bed, so Sir Leo gallantly offered it to me and said he would sleep on the floor, just like a real chivalrous knight. He even blew me a kiss right before he logged off, which, let's just say, got my real-life heartbeat up quite a bit. I brushed my teeth and slipped on a black skirt and sweater with black tights and Chinese slippers. Then I grabbed my backpack and headed downstairs, just in time for Dad to walk through the door. He gave me a big bear hug and then turned to Emily, who squirmed and protested he was messing up her hair. My mother hovered in the archway, looking annoyed.
Hello, Denise.
Dad said to her. Hello, Bob, she returned in a cold voice. They used to be so happy together. I remembered sneaking downstairs late at night when I was younger and catching them making out on the couch. Or Dad would be telling some silly joke and Mom would be practically rolling on the floor, she was laughing so hard. We'd go on family vacations to the mountains in New Hampshire. Dad would catch his fish, and Mom would cook them on the camp stove. Hey, how about we all go out for breakfast? Emily suggested in a bright voice. Poor kid. Is still unclear on the concept of divorce. I'd really love some pancakes. Wouldn't you, Mom? Mom shook her head. I've got a busy day ahead of me, Em. Maybe your father will take you. She started to turn to walk away.
Come on, Denise.
Dad called after her.
You can follow me in your car and we'll meet in the IHOP parking lot.
He grinned his goofy dad grin.
You can't be too busy for apple pancakes, can you?
Mom stiffened. Yes, Bob. Actually, I can be. And in fact, I am. Some of us work around here, you know. Ouch. I cringed at her harsh words. It wasn't Dad's fault that he was between jobs after his company laid him off a couple months ago, was it? And besides, he still sent his child support checks on time, so she had nothing to bitch about. She really needed to at least try to be civil to the poor guy. At least around Emily. Please, Mom, Emily pleaded with her big impossible-to-say-no-to eyes. Please. Can I talk to you for a moment, Bob? Mom asked, tight-lipped. Dad nodded and followed her to the living room. Now you've done it, I remarked, handing Emily her Dora the Explorer suitcase. You've made them fight again. They're talking, that's different, Emily protested. Dad's convincing Mom to come with us for pancakes. I rolled my eyes. Give up the fantasy, girl, I suggested. They're never getting back together. Emily's face fell and I instantly felt bad. Still, she needed a reality check. Mom and Dad were done. She'd left him, and she was never going back. And we were still stuck in this hellhole town in Grandma's house forever. Dad walked back into the room with a smile on his face that didn't quite reach his eyes.
Let's go, kids,
he said, grabbing our suitcases and pushing open the front door. I looked back at the living room and saw Mom standing in the doorway, her lips pursed in a frown. Sorry, Em, I thought. As much as it sucks, these two are done for good. After setting my bags in the guest bedroom that Emily and I shared while we were at Dad's, I sprawled on the bed and dug in my purse for my cell phone. I hadn't talked to Caitlin all week. Always got her voicemail every time I dialed, and she was never on IM anymore. "Hello?" my friend answered on the first ring. "Hey, Kate. Oh my god, Maddie, how are you? How's the new school? Does it still totally blow? Did you make any friends? Meet any guys?" I smiled into the phone, feeling better already. Maybe I had been imagining her cold shoulder. Maybe things would be alright after all. We could meet up this weekend for coffee and maybe go to the movies. School still sucks. No new friends. Oh, but I got detention for punching someone. "No way, that rocks!" Caitlin sounded impressed. "What'd you do?" "He, actually." "Whoa, girl, you punched a guy? You rock my socks." "Yeah, well, thanks. Mom is a bit less happy about the whole thing." "Your mom? I can only imagine. My mom probably would have taken me out for pizza and ice cream to celebrate if I socked some guy for doing me wrong." I laughed. "Anyway, I'm at Dad's this weekend. What are you up to? Did you want to come by?" Well, maybe." I frowned into the phone. "Maybe?" I questioned. "Did you want to or not? It's not a hard question." "It's actually, well, I'm going snowboarding this afternoon." "Snowboarding?" I raised an eyebrow. "Since when do you snowboard?" "Oh, well, I'm just learning. We've got a little club that's going up every weekend. It's totally fun." "Club? Ew." "Oh, just a bunch of us, Ashley, Dana, Chantel, you know the gang." I did know, mainly because it used to be my gang. "I'd invite you along, but there's no room in the car, you know. Too bad, though. David's gonna be there." "Yeah, just dig that knife a little deeper, Kate." "But you should come another time. Ooh, they're here. Gotta go. Litigator." Caitlin chimed, sounding way too happy about getting off the phone. I guess I would be too if I had David Silverman waiting for me in the car. But still. Okay, bye. I hit the end button and dumped the phone on the table. I didn't even know why I was surprised at this point. My friends had clearly forgotten about me. I pulled out my sketchbook. Guess I should work on my manga for the contest. After all, the deadline was fast approaching, and I still hadn't figured out my storyline. I examined my sketches with a critical eye. Was I just kidding myself to think that my artwork was prize-worthy? Or was Billy right? Did I completely suck? I shook my head. Couldn't think like that. Had to stay positive. I flipped from sketch to sketch, studying each one. I liked the drawings I'd done of Fields of Fantasy Allura, but the ones of me in high school facing the haters weren't bad either. So, should I do a reality manga, a shoujo set in high school, or create a fantasy epic with dragons and knights in shining armor? It was a tough choice. Then inspiration hit me like a lightning bolt. What if a normal high school girl started playing a video game and literally got sucked into the virtual world? Suddenly, she was an all-powerful magician living in a medieval land, instead of the friendless, emo girl she'd been. And she'd have to go on some kind of quest to be able to get home. This way, I could combine both storylines and make something that was unique. I grabbed my pen and started sketching out a few rough scenes. This was going to be so cool.
"What you doing, honey?"
I looked up. Dad was hovering in the bedroom doorway. "Just drawing," I said, feeling self-conscious all of a sudden. I instinctively put a hand over my drawing, then moved it away. After all, I was entering a contest. I needed to get used to people checking out my art. Still, it seemed weird, something so personal and private, out on display. Dad sat down beside me and turned my sketch toward him.
"Is this from Fields of Fantasy?"
he asked. I nodded.
"You're really a great artist,"
he remarked, turning to the next drawings.
"I'm very impressed."
I blushed. "You're a dad, you have to say that."
"Really?"
He looked up, his eyes twinkling.
"Weird. I must have skipped over that part in the Dad Handbook."